In a prior video, we talked about what is social comparison and how social comparison is relevant in a negotiation. In this video, I'd like to talk to you about how you can go about mitigating the effects of social comparison. That is, social comparison can cause perceptual distortions, right? And as a result of that, you act differently in the negotiation. So if you want to remove those distortions, you want to mitigate the effect of social comparison, there are a couple of ways to do it. Well, first, you can alter the inputs into the negotiation, right? You can alter what amount of value you're bringing in terms of interest. You can focus upon differently the alternatives that are there. You can set your reservation or target points differently based upon that. So you can use tactics differently so as not to be overly competitive. Perhaps you're less competitive, perhaps you're more accommodating, perhaps in some scenarios you're yielding, but perhaps with the overall outlook towards being more collaborative, that type of thing. So you're altering the inputs, what you put into the negotiation. A more direct way that we often think about is the end result, right? The outcome of the negotiation. We can alter what the ultimate outcome is, right? That can be done once again by affecting, our reservation point, but particularly our target point. And once again, our strategy and the underlying objectives that we try to achieve in ultimately reaching that outcome. So if we change our targets for the end goal or outcome, that is a primary way because then our strategy and tactics that we employ correspond there and ultimately change that. So we once again proceed towards a different concept or different framework of fairness, because that is ultimately what social comparison affects, what we perceive as being procedurally or substantively fair in the negotiation. Okay, and then third, which is a subset of these two, you can cognitively distort the inputs or outcomes for the other party. All right, you can actually do it for yourself as well by limiting your field of vision, but you can do it for the other party. And basically what that means is you make them give them the perception that you are changing the inputs as a result of some perception of social comparison, right? You're trying to mitigate the perception that there is some change in how the negotiation should be carried out based upon social class or status in the organizational structure. Same way with outcomes. You can change someone else's perception as to how they see the outcome of the negotiation. And once again, even though the outcome is the same, if they see it differently, if they see the outcome as giving them more value or giving you less value than it actually does, once again, you can achieve the objective of mitigating the effects of social comparison.